Good morning. What a privilege to be here today with you, your wake-up session. And yes, I was here, it was 2016 actually, and at the time I had published the book. It was not that of lawyers, that's the famous book by Richard Susskind, already mentioned by Jaroslav. It was that of a law firm. And I predicted, and I was wrong, obviously, that in 5 years' time, the legal industry would face serious issues. Things have changed, many things, but you're still here. And I'm very happy that you're here. The program looks absolutely fantastic. There is such a lineup of inspiring speakers, so you're in for a fabulous day. Let me start. We only have 30 minutes. The basic question is, what's the magic? What's the key to success? How do you become a successful law firm? How do you become a great lawyer? Is it the size of the firm? Do you just need to be very, very big? And if you're big, you will be successful. Is it having this prestigious office with marble? Is it having an international alliance? Is it having the best possible technology? Is it something else? Maybe it's something else. In 2020, so in the summer of the first wave of the pandemic, we decided to conduct a research. You're all familiar, I guess, with this Chambers directory. Lawyers want to be ranked, they submit their matters, they give client references, and then you get like rank tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, not ranked at all. And there is these beautiful client quotes. And lawyers put the client quotes in their resumes and on the website. So all these client quotes, they're on the Chambers website. So it's possible to scrape them. So we scraped all the client quotes from the Chambers website. They're all in English, which is very convenient. And we employed an algorithm to sort them in 2 baskets. So the algorithm analyzed the content of the text, and there is 2 baskets. Basket 1 is client praises lawyer one way or another for legal knowledge. He's a very, very smart lawyer, knows everything about competition law. Second basket, client praises lawyer about something else. Something not legal. It's a great negotiator. It's a nice person. So, where do you get? What's in both baskets? Well, here it is. 83% of all client feedback given to Chambers on lawyers all over the world, any area of practice, 83% of client comments is on human skills. So basically, what it says is human skills are the key to success. And what does it look like? It looks like this. This is typical. Just I took 3 of the typical client comments. And if you see, it's about understanding the business, it's about emotional intelligence, it's about creativity, it's about project management. So what we did, we analyzed further, not just by looking at the Chambers client comments, but we also had interviews with clients, we had interviews with lawyers ranked in tier 1. Because that would be really interesting to know what is this distinction between a lawyer who is ranked as tier 1 and all the others. Why are you tier 1? Because in the end, we're looking for the key to success. So, we came to 7 core dimensions. 7 core dimensions on which tier 1 lawyers score considerably better than all the others. I will quickly mention them. So dimension number 1, it's understanding the business. And you may say, well, everyone says we have to understand the business. Yes, you have. The thing is, understanding the business in the way that it is meant in this core dimension, it's not that you know everything about telecoms law if you're a telecoms lawyer. It's not a legal dimension. What is meant is that you do understand how your client earns money. So you need to understand the business model. You need to be able to understand if you contribute to the client's profitability or if you are just cost. So understanding the business involves understanding the economy, understanding the competitors of your client, understanding the market of your client. And it's not just for outside counsel. We also work with in-house teams, and I often ask the question, what product line of your company is the most profitable? Which is the most capital intensive? Which has the highest profit margin? And unsurprisingly, but slightly shockingly, in-house team doesn't know. We're lawyers. Why should we know? You should know. Because in the end, you're an instrument for your company, or in your case, for the client, to be more commercially successful. And if you don't know what is the root of the success, you cannot help. Second of the 7 dimensions, creativity. The tier 1 ranked lawyers have an ability, more than anyone else, to find new and creative solutions for client problems. These could be legal solutions. It could also be like an emotional intervention, levering pressure in a negotiation. It could also be not to do something. There is many ways of being creative and finding solutions for the client. The ones that are ranked in the tiers below, they just apply the law, and they say, well, computer says no, there is no solution. The ones that are in tier 1, they find the solution, one way or the other. Dimension number 3, this is obvious. This was already a theme when I was here in 2016. Practice development. As a lawyer, you must be able to find clients. You must be able not just to find clients, you must be able to find the right clients. This is not easy. So obviously, the tier 1 lawyers have a better ability to find the right clients. Number 4, project management, practice management. This is not the ability to have a very complicated Excel sheet or maybe something even more fancy. This is about the ability to structure in your head the order in which things need to be done. This is better for your client because you will be working on multiple clients and multiple matters at the same time. It's also much better for your team, and it avoids a lot of chaos. The best lawyers are most of the time very calm. Even though they have a lot of work, they're in control. So, practice management is also one of the 7. Number 5, emotional intelligence. The legal profession, and you will be hearing a lot of tech talk today, and it's utterly important. But please remember, the legal profession, in the end, is a human profession. If you ask a person, let's say someone who works at a factory and who can hardly afford a lawyer, if you get fired from the factory, what would you rather have? A very cheap website where you enter your complaint and hope for the best, or a bit more expensive lawyer that puts his arm around your shoulder that I'll take care of your problem. In the end, it's a human-to-human profession more than anything else. And if you want to be successful as a lawyer, you must be able to understand people. You must be able to understand your client. You must be able to understand your fellow partners. You must be able to understand your team. You must have the emotional intelligence. Number 6, presence and confidence. As a lawyer, you are the only one out there to represent your client. If you're in a meeting, make sure that everyone at the table feels that you're in control. Because the client puts his trust in you. You must be there. You cannot just be shy and hide behind your computer screen. So, the tier 1 lawyers, they have more presence. They are confident. They are there. Last of the 7 dimensions, it's a tricky one, but it's oh so important, and we rather not talk about it. Integrity. In the end, we all have a moral compass. And the moral compass is not something that is just in you. It's not something that is just there. It needs to be calibrated and recalibrated all the time. The Tier 1 lawyers do realize that integrity is important. They do discuss dilemmas with others. They have an open, let's say, culture in the firm to discuss tricky issues. Tricky issues are never digital yes or no. There is all these shades of gray and maybe, maybe not in between. And the only way to avoid making major mistakes is by discussing time and time again. So, we have 7 dimensions, and on these 7 dimensions, the Tier 1 lawyers, based on research, score above average as compared to the others. So, the question is, what can we do about it? Is it just something you're born with? And, well, I'm not so emotionally intelligent, so what can I do? Or is it something we can train? Let's look at education. If we are young, as toddlers, we go to kindergarten and we learn basic motoric skills, we learn human interaction. It's part of growing. If you don't grow, you won't develop. We have learned that during the pandemic, when schools were closed, children now, they are behind the others. So they need to learn at an extra speed, but also their, let's say, their social interaction. So that's kind of a clue that you need to learn. Phase 2, we go to university and we grow and mature as adults, but we also increasingly focus on the mind. It's more mind than anything else. We learn stuff, theory. Then we join a law firm and we listen to the more experienced partners. We still learn, leading by example. We also learn by doing lots of work. We get experience. And then one day, we're a partner. And you know, we are the perfect product. We don't have to learn ever again. We are done. Well, you're not. I think that's basically the issue and the message today. So, let's take one step back for a moment. Again, back to the client perspective, because everything we do needs to be done for the client. Where is the value? If you do something as a lawyer, where is the value for the client? In order to understand the value, you must be familiarized with the concept of the creation-production divide concept. What's the creation-production divide concept? If you do something for a client as a lawyer, where is your value? Let's say you're in an M&A transaction, and the file just landed on your desk, you're super happy, but it's very, very complicated. So you're the partner, and you're just thinking, how could we structure this? What's the best way? What are the things we need to look at? And then at the morning, when you commute to the office, then you know it. This is the solution. This is how we're going to structure the deal. You go in, you instruct your associates, this is how we're going to do it. And then a lot of production starts. Production is reviewing documents, it's the data room, it's negotiations, it's emails, it's drafting things. Where's the value for the client? What makes you different as a lawyer from the lawyer next door? It's not the production. Everyone will do production. Your due diligence is probably not better than anyone else's, and your drafted contracts are probably pretty comparable. It's in phase 1. It's in the creation. That's where the difference is made. So again, back to what distinguishes the Tier 1 lawyers, they do understand that the value is there. So it makes total sense from a business perspective that even if you are a partner, you keep honing your skills, you keep trying to get better and better and better. Problem is, we don't. We are very, very well organized in training the legal skills. Obviously, we should be, because that's kind of the core of our existence. If we don't know case law, if we don't know, let's say, what changes in the law, we're out of business. But it's not the way to get more successful. I think one of the key messages I have for you is that it makes total sense to offer partners development opportunities. As a partner, you're not done. If you are in, I don't know, it depends a bit, but let's say in your mid-30s, and you have to be a partner until you're 65 or whatever. 30 years of no development, while the world around you changes. That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. The partners are your capital. Develop them. The thing is, and there's the dilemma, partners are incredibly busy. And let's say most efforts to try to change partners, they derail because it simply isn't done. So you must come up with a clever trick. You shouldn't waste the partner's time. That makes it very complicated. Because changing is very low on a person's agenda. You're all adults, and let's say if I told you you need to change your, let's say, human skills, you would probably push back. You have other things to do. You have a lot of economic pressure, you have social pressure. It's not very popular. So partners don't want to do it. So in order to pull it off, you need to make it measurable and accountable. Only what you measure, you can track. Makes sense. And it needs to be focused. So what we have done, and I'm not here to sell the product, because it's not a product you can buy, but it's just to help you, let's say, develop your own. We have developed, and we do employ what we call a 360 talent tool. The tool is not, let's say, the goal. The goal is to get partners to develop, not only today, but continuously until the day they retire. The tool helps because it makes it measurable and it makes partners accountable. So how does it work? Basically, it works like how you evaluate a typical hotel, or maybe even this conference. You might receive at the end of the conference this email to ask you to give stars for different speakers or different elements, the catering, and you're very familiar with the process. There are the 7 dimensions, which you already know, and there is a number 8, which is called contribution. And contribution is not a monetary contribution. It is about whether or not you put time in the firm, contribute to the firm, or just time in yourself, me and my practice. And it's easy. There is like a little description, and you are ranked by your fellow partners and yourself between 1 and 5 stars. So the survey is sent to all partners, and all partners do the survey. Did it change or did it not? Yeah, now it does. The way, because it's lawyers, so I've encountered everything. So lawyers say, well, you know, I haven't actually worked with fellow partner A. So how can I judge? Well, you can, because it's on intuition. Partners know each other even if they don't work with each other. So it doesn't really matter whether you actually have sat beside someone or has been in the transaction or another matter together. It is done on the basis of intelligence and intuition, and that has proven to be very reliable. So every partner ranks the others just in stars, and the beauty of the system is there is a minimum size of the partner group. Obviously, you need to have 20 at least to counterbalance. So every partner will have a few close friends. And the close friends will be inclined to give better evaluation than justified. And every partner possibly also has a few partners that don't really like him. And they push the evaluation down. Because of the numbers, it's evened out. So we know from experience that it is really, really very, very balanced and very neutral. It takes 3 minutes per partner. Think about the waste of time. If you want to participate in an evaluation, then it shouldn't take too much time. Otherwise, I'll do it tomorrow or maybe after the weekend, or probably not at all. This is what the result looks like. The white line between the yellow and the white is firm average. Because the idea was to constantly improve. Why did we constantly want to improve? Because we know that the distinction between a successful lawyer and a non-successful lawyer is in how well developed the human skills are. So our mission is, let's say, we will never reach a moment where everything will be perfect. We need to constantly hone, improve, bit by bit, not everything at the same time, because we have a decade, 2 decades, maybe even more, but it needs to get better all the time. So also the firm average will move, so it's a moving target. It doesn't matter. So here is a partner who scores above average on business knowledge practice, well, basically on everything. Here's another one. This is all real results from real-world evaluations. And here is one who is below average, notably on practice management. Again, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is bad in absolute terms. It just means that as compared to the other partners, it is below average. So there is an incentive to improve. And what you also see, and this is a correlation we see a lot, there is a strong correlation between bad practice management and bad people skills. Because if you don't have your practice in order, if you're out of control, you start shouting to your associates, which is perceived as bad people skills. So, the result is in the end a personalized development track for each and every partner. From, let's say, the vision that it is the human skills that make us better. It's a lifespan of development for lawyers, so you're never finished. And I think that's the beauty. Even if we talk to law firms that have not yet applied a method like this, if you talk to young partners, it's challenging times. It's not as easy as it used to be. If you became a partner in the 1990s, everything came to you. Let's say the market grew, there was not that many law firms, you had close relationship with, let's say, your clients who were in the same age group. But now, let's say it's 2022. It's much harder to be a young partner. It's not that easy anymore. And the baby boomers, they're still there and they're holding on to their practice. So young partners, they ask for growth, personal growth. They ask to be helped and trained on all these dimensions. And it will not only benefit them, it will benefit all the lawyers. The beauty of the system is also that the first time you do the 360 talent tool, the results are recognizable, but in a way all over the place, because your idea of what creativity means might be a different concept of what creativity means for you. After you have done it, you sit and in small sessions and we discuss, what does it mean for us? What do we want as a definition for creativity or emotional intelligence or integrity or any of the others in our firm? It's a very much cultural thing. That makes that the second round of the 360 is already more aligned with the shared value. It's a very powerful instrument, not only for personal growth, it's also a powerful instrument to reinforce the culture. It is also, again, it's not about the tool, it's about the development opportunities. So forget about the tool for a moment. Offering development opportunities in a structured way to your partners, and after you've done the partners, also the associates in the end. It's a very, very powerful recruitment tool. There is a research done by McKinsey, and they looked into the reasons why lawyers, they did it for several sectors, but also for lawyers, why they leave. Why do they leave their firm? Well, number one is, let's say, emotional abuse by partners. Number two is unrealistic workload and work expectations. But number three, it's lack of development opportunities. Development opportunities to attract talent is hugely important. The young generation doesn't come just for money. They want to grow. Offer them this growth perspective, and you will be much more able of attracting the right talent. And in the end, it's about positive feedback from clients. If you start implementing, let's say, development of human skills, and that's the theme that I want you to take home. Whatever you hear today, technology, all kinds of smart solutions, it is all very interesting, super intriguing, innovative and important. But it will be useless unless you have human talent. Take care of your human talent. Make sure everyone has an opportunity to develop and to grow. Don't assume partners are perfect. So if you adopt a culture of growth and development, you will get positive feedback from clients because clients will notice. And if you apply, let's say, the method of blended learning, you will also, at some points, involve clients in, let's say, training your lawyers. Clients could help on understanding the business. Clients could also help on creativity, on emotional intelligence, on presence and confidence. There is so many things you could do together with your clients. So it's also a huge opportunity to reinforce the relationship you have with your clients. In wrapping up, I think out of all the investment opportunities presented to you today, and there will be many, and it's a great and inspiring program, and everything will be relevant. But if you have to prioritize, if you can only do one, out of all the opportunities, invest in your people. Taking care of people. Let them grow. Offer them opportunities. Break down silos. Make sure they communicate. It's the best investment you can make. There is no better investment than in people. Okay, I'm done 1 minute before. And Jaroslav is supposed to run up the stage now and ask me some questions. He's probably on his way. That's the thing with like a strict 30-minute timing. It's not always easy to have it exactly at 30 minutes. So I've been speeding up. Let me, let's say, summarize again. You know, one of the difficult things as a lawyer, since we are there and the pressure to perform is on us, it's on individuals. So I feel responsible for my client. I feel the responsibility to bring in the revenue. I feel the responsibility not to make mistakes. That makes it a very, very personal thing, a very individualistic thing, because the pressure is on me. And I think one of the great opportunities with developing is that you start breaking down the silos. One of the things that I come across a lot is law firms that want to to improve the cooperation between practice groups and between partners. Some call it cross-selling. I hate cross-selling because it's like the vacuum clean salesman trying to push something through the door. It's about collaboration. It's about, let's say, using the potential within the firm. It's about the ability to exchange ideas. There is so much talent in one firm, but the organization is so much individual. By focusing on human skills, by recognizing that the difference between a great lawyer and a so-so lawyer is not in the knowledge of the law. Clients rightly expect all of you to have the knowledge of the law. Within one, let's say, group of law firms, a category, tier 1, tier 2, clients assume, be sure, clients assume that all lawyers have exactly the same amount of knowledge of the law and case law. And they're right to assume. If I go to a doctor, I just assume he knows about medicine, like the other doctor. So that's not where the difference is. Let's say keeping up with legal development is a matter of hygiene. You should do it. If you really want to make an impact, if you really want to make a difference, if you really want to be the best lawyer, law firm, with the best and the nicest cases to work on, attracting the best possible talent, people, on 1, on 2, and on 3. Thanks.